Today I'm going to show you how to make Tweedle Dee. He could also be Tweedle Dum since they are essentially identical. And in order to make him, you will need about 120 red bands, 50 skin bands, 68 yellow bands, 22 black bands, and 9 white bands. I'm also using 2 white pony beads. If you don't have pony beads, you can use the white bands looped 4 times on your hook. So if you want to go ahead and grab your supplies, we will go ahead and get started. The first part that we'll be working on today is going to be the belly extensions. Just so you know, and I did talk to her, I talked to Kate with Isalicious Designs. This is going to be a similar layout to her 3D ball. And I did speak with her to see if she was okay with me using the design to give him that belly effect, and she said that was good, that was fine. So if you haven't seen it, head over to her page and you can see how to make her 3D ball, which is pretty cool. You can make like a beach ball and a soccer ball, all kinds of different stuff. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and make that first. I have already made mine, so I'm going to show you how to make one, and then you'll just have to make 6 or 5 more on your own. So in total you're going to need 6 of these pieces made. So like I said, I'm going to show you how to make one of them though. We are going to start at the top of the loom, and I don't even have my bands out today, so bear with me. And you are going to come down with a single yellow once, and then a double, so 2 yellow, and then you want to switch to the red, so you'll come down 4 times with 2 red bands. And then we're going to cap this off, creating 3 loops. So 1, 2, 3, and then go in and loop up to the top. Once you've done that, you can remove it from the loom. So like I said, go ahead and pause the video and make 5 more of these, and then we can continue on. Now once you have made all 6 in total, you want to have them on your hook, you're going to take 2 yellow bands, and we are going to feed all of these onto those 2 bands. And then hook it onto itself, and you can go ahead and make a slip knot. So pull this outside band over, and try not to pull too tight because you don't want it to be really loose on the top. Then you're going to flip this over, and we are going to start on one side, and you want to take your hook going through the capping bands on the end of each one, and make sure you're only grabbing the capping bands. Then you are going to take 2 red bands and do the same thing we did on the top. So we're going to feed these all onto the 2 red bands. And again, I'm going to make a slip knot. And then just to make sure it doesn't come loose while it's sitting off to the side, you can just hook them both like that. You don't want to make it into a ball. We actually want this half ball effect. So just set that aside, and we will be using that later. The next portion that we're going to create is the arm. I have made one already, so I'll show you how to make one, and then you can make the second one. Just pause the video. You're going to come down from the top of the loom with 2 yellow bands, and you're going to come down 5 times. You are then going to take 2 skin tone bands, and we're coming down once, and then we're going to cap this off 4 times. And then go ahead and loop that up to the top. And then we can remove it and set it aside for later. So go ahead and pause the video to make your second arm, and we can continue on. We also need to create his face extension, and we're going to create his foot. I've already made one of each, so I'm going to show you how to make both of these, and then just pause the video to make a second one of each. So on the left hand side of your loom, you're just going to take 2 skin bands, and you're going to come down 3 times. We're then going to cap that off, creating 3 loops. Then to make his foot, I'll do that on this side. I'm going to start at the top with a single yellow, and I'm going to double it. Then you're going to need your black. Take a single black and double it. Then you'll go to 2 black, so 2 black bands. 2 more black bands, and then 3 black bands, switching back to 2, and then we're going to cap this off with 4 loops. And we're going to go ahead and loop those up. And then we can remove them. And set those aside as well. So go ahead and pause the video, make another foot and another face extension piece, and we can continue on. The next thing we're going to create is the top bill for the hat, and in order to do that you'll be using red bands. So you're going to come down with 5 times with 2 red bands. And we're going to cap this off, creating 3 loops. And we're going to loop that one up as well. There is a lot of just extra pieces in order to create this character. And then we can remove it and set that aside as well. Now we're going to create the flag for the top of his head. And first we'll create the flag and then add that onto the stem piece. So you'll be using yellow for that. You're going to come down, and the whole flag is, almost the whole flag is single band. So you're coming down on the left with a single yellow, and on the right with a single yellow, bringing it into the center with a single on both sides. Then you're going to come down on the left, coming down once in the center, and once on the right. Once on the left, once, oh, bands are flying again. Once more in the center, and once on the right. And then coming down on the left 2 times, coming down on the right 2 times, we're then going to come from the center peg out to that left hand where we ended, that left peg, and repeat that going to the right. And then coming down on the left with 2 yellow bands, doing that again on the right with 2 bands, and then capping it off with 4 loops on both sides. We are then going to place a crossover band. You're taking a single, you're going to double it, and you're going to come from the 3rd peg on the right to the 3rd on the left, and a single double from the 4th on the right to the 4th on the left. Once you've done that, we can go ahead and loop this up. So you want to come in under the capping band, bringing your 2 bands forward. When you go in here, grab the first band and bringing it up to the left onto the center peg. And then the second band there would come straight up. And we can repeat that over here. Oh, and I ended up grabbing both of my bands. And then we can go ahead and loop up the center. We can go in here, grabbing the first band, bringing it over to the left, and this one over to the right. And now we can just loop all the way up. I'm then going to just release the tension up to the top, but we don't physically need to actually remove this from the loom just yet. And just bring it up to there. Now you want to grab your white bands, and for this part, to make the stem, you're going to be using 2 bands at a time, so 2 white, but we are going to double them. And just somewhere down here below what your flag piece, you're going to bring them down, and we're going to do that 4 times, so it's double double. So 2 bands, double it, 2 more, double, and 2 more. Now we can grab our flag pieces and this is actually the top of the flag, so we want to attach this onto these 2 pegs here. So you have 4 bands, so 2 on each. You can place them either way you want. So I'm placing 2 bands here and 2 here. And then I'm going to cap this off, creating 4 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Once we've done that, we can loop this up. So go in under all the bands, grabbing the bottom whites, and bring them up. And then I'm going to grab my holding hook and remove the top part of his hat and set this aside for later. Now that we have most of our pieces, we'll do the eyes when we get to the body part for that. We're going to go ahead and start placing him on the loom. You're going to start at the top of the loom with 2 red bands coming off to the diagonal and 2 bands going the other way. You're then coming down on the left with 2 red, down the center with 2, and on the right. You're then switching to the skin colors. We're going to come down 2 times on the left with 2 skin bands, and then coming into the chin peg. And repeat that on the right. And then we can fill in the center. We are then going to switch over to our yellow bands. So you're going to come down with a single yellow once on your left, once on the right, and once in the center. Then switching to 2 yellows, once on the left, once on the right, and then 2 in the center. Now I'm going to switch to the red, and with double bands I'm coming down 3 times on the left with double red bands. Then I'm going to come into the center peg, repeat that on the right. And then we're going to fill in the body with double red bands. Then we need to fill in the leg section. So you're going to come down with your 2 red bands. You're going to come straight down the left hand side. So you're coming down 1, 2, 3 times with 2 red bands. And then with 2 bands, I'm going to bring this into the center peg. And repeat that on the right. And then fill in your center as well. Just like that. Now we're going to go in and start adding some of our pieces on, as well as our holding bands. So we're going to start up here at the top with a single, creating a triangle from the second left, second center, and second right. And repeat that again on the next one with a single skin. Now once we've done, actually before you put this top one on, sorry, we need to add his hair pieces, so you're going to need a couple of orange for that. And I think I forgot that when I told you the colors. You'll need about 6 dark orange for the hair that comes out the side of his hat. All you're going to do is take 3 on the second peg and just lay them on there. And do the same thing on this side with 3 orange. And now we can put this holding triangle band back on and push it down, because there's actually a lot of attachment pieces that end up on the second peg. So we want to kind of push things down as much as we can. We're not going to be placing any holding bands on the body, so that is a little unusual. But this is his back side here. The belly goes over it, so we don't want to hold it together or there'll be separation on the side. Coming down here to the leg area, this is where we're going to be placing our next set of bands. So you're going to take a single red, double it, and you're coming across from the 4th peg from the bottom straight across. And then here we want to do another single double. And on this one I'm actually going to create the triangle. And then on this peg here, you'll be creating a single triple. So the easiest way to do that is to create 3 loops on this peg, and then we're going to pull it across. My bands sometimes snap when I do this, so we're going to hope and see if that doesn't happen. There it goes. If you can't get it to go single triple, just do a single double, but to get that tapered effect we want to try. Sometimes it helps to stretch the band out first. Just like that. Now going back up, let's place some of our extension pieces. Go ahead and grab the 2 face extension pieces that we made. We are going to attach these on the 4th peg from the bottom up to the 2nd. So the top piece that is on your hook, that one will go on the 4th peg from the top. And we'll go ahead and place this other one as well. Then take your hook through your capping band and bring that up to the 2nd peg from the top. And do the same thing on this side as well. At this point we can go ahead and place his eyes. So you want to grab a single skin, and this is where I'm using my 2 white beads. Pinch it and feed it through the eyes, or the beads, to create the eyes. This will also go on the 2nd to the 2nd peg, and separate those. And then I usually pull one up and over. And then the other piece that needs to go here are his ears. So to create his ears, you're going to take a single skin, create 4 loops on your hook, and do that again. Take another single and double it, and we're going to pull all of these on. And we're going to place this on this peg here. And repeat that for the other side. So a single, 4 loops. Repeat that again. Single, double. And placing it on the other side. And as much as I hate to say this, there's more bands that will be going on these same pegs, so it gets pretty tight when we're looping. Now we can go ahead and grab the arms, and we're going to place that on the 2 shoulder pegs. And we can grab our feet. The 2 feet go on the same peg on the very bottom in the center. And you can just face one this way. And the other one that way. So they're like that. And his flag, go ahead and grab that. You're going to place that on the very top peg. Just like that. And now everything that we need on him right now to start looming is in place. So we'll go ahead and get started on the looming, and then we'll be adding some more pieces. So you're going to go in under the feet, grabbing your first 2 bands and bringing those forward. We're going to go back in, grabbing the next 2. Why am I only getting 1 band? And mine go to the right, and then the next 2 going to the left. We're then going to loom up the next 2 in the center. We then need to grab our little ball, and we want the red side, and if you need to switch it around, you want the hollow, the inside piece, to be facing up, and we're going to place this on this cap right here, just like that. Then you're going to go in there, grabbing the first 2 bands, bringing those up, the next 2 to your right, the next 2 to the left. We're then going to loom straight up the center. Okay, and then we want to go back down to the very bottom and loop straight up the side. And repeat that on the left, so all the way back down to the bottom. And these on this triple band, if you need to, try to release the tension so you don't break any of them. We are then going to come back down, and we're going to grab the top of our ball, stick your hook straight through, and we are going to stretch this up and over this peg here and push down some so it doesn't snap off. We are then going to go in, grabbing our first 2 skin bands and bringing those up, and in this case we're just going to actually go straight up to the top. Oh no, we're not. We forgot his nose, or I forgot his nose. Okay, take a single skin, create 4 loops, and do that again. It's the same way you make the ear. Single, double, and pulling those on. Hey, at least I caught it early. Not once he was off the loom, because I've done that before too. Okay, pinch it, grab another single, and we're going to pull all of this on. And we are going to take this from the third right to the third left peg, just like that. Now you can loom up. Now when I go over the nose, I usually try to pull it through so it doesn't get buried when we pull them off. Now go back into the chin peg, grab the next two, going to the right. On this one, you want to stop right there where the ear is. Repeat that on the left. Stopping at the ear. And try to push them down a little. Now we're going to grab the hat extension bill piece, and this is pretty simple to put on. It's just a matter of getting the bands to stay still. So you're going from the second peg down from the top over to the second one on the left. So I'm going to place, place these bands on the right, and I'm going through this capping band and hooking those on my left, just like that. And now I can finish looping up the side. There is a lot of bands here. You also have these orange bands. You don't want to snag those. If you need to, pull them out a little. Make sure you're getting all the bands. Sometimes it helps just to tilt and look underneath to make sure you're coming out in the right place. And there's going to be a lot of tension too. So I'm going to use my other hook to try and help bring this one up carefully. They weren't that tight last time. They're a lot tighter this time. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. There we go. And then we're going to finish them up. Now we want to grab a single red. You're going to go through all of the top bands. We're going to pull that through. I'm grabbing the wrong stuff. Okay. Now, before you make your slip knot, you want to pull up on the flag, sticking your hook through to grab this other band and pull it through the top. And then you can create your slip knot. Now we can go ahead and remove him from the loom. Okay. Now that he is off, he's a bumbled mess. So we're going to pull his little hair pieces out some. And if you want to, you can take the slip knot, go through the back. Just go through the red somewhere. Grab it. And pull it through. to the back. Then we want to push his eyes a little forward, which will cause the bill of the hat to pop forward some so you can actually see his face, and pull his arms out and stretch his body. His feet, you can go through the back in the yellow and just pull these bands some. To cause them to go flat like that. And then to fix his belly, make it round. Just stick your fingers through the back like that. And grab your Sharpie. And that is how you make Tweedle Dee. And I think the only difference really between Tweedle Dee and Tweedle Dum is the eyes. As you can see, I tried to give him a little bit of a cross-eyed effect because Tweedle Dum, I believe, goes cross-eyed. So if you look, his eyes are straight on and his are pointed in, and their flags went separate. If you wanted to make one of each, you could just flip the flag around when you place it on the loom, but then you'd have Tweedle Dee and Tweedle Dum. I hope you like him.